For
Welcome into another leg on our race around the world here at the Pitstop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver,
my name is not Kevin Oliver, but it is Bruce Heller.
and we are here starting our off-season content. It is rewatch time here at the Pitstop Pals, and we are going to rewatch Season 29, the season of the strangers.
Yes, this is a very fun twist already, a very fun theme to the season already, and we're only one episode in. I think this is going to be a very fun season based off this first episode.
I completely agree. For those of you who don't know and can't tell by what I just titled it, instead of uh, groups or pairs, instead of pairs uh, starting the race together, like brothers or significant others or parent sibling or parents child duos. It's 22 individual people who are paired into 11 teams with people that they just met that day. And this is going to create a wild race dynamic.
It is. And so far, there's a decent number of teams that seem to be getting along really well.
Yeah.
This is the first leg. We'll see how that continues as the stakes and the stress get ramped up. But there's already a few teams that I feel like are going to crumble when that stretch does hit because we're already kind of there.
I agree. And the name of the episode was We're Coming for You, Phil. Do you have any idea who said that?
No,
It was Seth.
nice. I like Seth and Olive a lot.
Yeah, they're cool. Do you have any quotes from this episode, Bruce?
I actually do. I have one, two, three, four, five.
All right, lay them on me.
I have, and I watched this enough days ago. I don't remember who said them because I usually watch the episode like right before the day or so before we record. This is like 4 days later. Somebody said, I don't want to be partners with Asian Barbie.
Wait, you don't like attribute the quote with the person who said it?
No, I'm usually saying it from memory because I normally remember it.
Oh, Bruce. I have that quote as well. It was Jesse.
I was gonna say Jesse. I have while we were like running from where we start to go get the luggage and coming back, someone said stick together and follow the white people.
Yeah, I think that was Jim.
My guess was yeah. See, I remembered a little bit. I just not well enough to feel confident about it.
Hmm.
Also from Jen, all Asians look like they're 12.
Yep, I had that too.
From I think Jen's partner, I forget his name. What was it?
Kevin. Kevin.
Jen and Kevin were a fun team, man. Like
Oh my gosh.
not
Yes.
not great results game wise, but the vibes are high there.
Oh yeah, totally.
I have from Kevin, my experience driving in foreign countries is zero, even though I'm foreign.
I missed that one.
And from the archery thing, from Becca and Floyd, vibes are also really high there.
Immaculate.
I want to thank the Academy and all of the tribe people.
Yes, I got that.
Wow, you had all five of my quotes. Do you have any
Nope,
additional ones that I didn't have?
I didn't have the foreign one.
Oh, we had four
Um,
or five.
yeah, I have some you don't have as well.
This is a gold mine episode for quotes, dude.
It is, I agree. So like you said, I had the Asian Barbie. I also had Scott telling us I might be easy to snap. I mean, I am a gay redhead. Um, let's see here. Oh, Scott goes, I'm gay. Shocker. And Brooke says, oh, we're Team Will and Grace.
I have
All
not watched
Asians
that
look
show.
12. What?
I have never seen that show.
Yeah. All Asians look 12. Um, oh, Vonk telling Ashton to take a 135-degree right turn.
It's
What the hell?
so specific.
What the hell?
I think it means he wanted her to turn 135 degrees.
Yeah, but why? But why say it like that?
True.
My Spanish is better when I'm drunk because that's when I learned it.
Well,
That was Jen.
gosh, they're so funny.
Kevin says, I'm so stressed, I'm taking off my shoes and relaxing. Want to take a whiff?
I wrote that down in the episode and forgot to put it on my list of quotes at the top of my note.
Yep. I want to thank the Academy and the Tribe people. Oh, Kevin also said, supposedly we're supposed to be siblings, so I should be like poking you and bothering you. And then proceeds to poke her in the back, in the shoulder, and then in the back of the head.
Is this bothering you? Is this bothering you? No. Proceeds to poke her in the head. Okay, now it's bothering me, and he keeps
Yeah.
doing it. Gosh, they're such a fun team.
And then Jen said, "How did two Asians get so lost?"
I remember
Uh,
that.
Floyd says, "Going." He was rapping, and he said, "Going to the pit stop number trace, and then we will see Phil's beautiful face."
Yes.
Um, Bonk says, "Want me to go first? I shot a bow once in gym class."
I can't. Vonk is entertaining. I don't know that I'd want him as my partner, but
I would not.
watching him on a TV show is fantastic.
And then my last one. How do you get to 24 without picking up an oar? There are lakes in Missouri. I've seen them.
Yeah, there are. There's a big one. It's called Lake of the Ozarks.
Yes. That was from Michael to Liz.
Okay, and so you mentioned drafting. Are we doing that at the beginning or the end? Because if we
The
do it at
end.
the end, one of us will have more teams than the other person because someone's
No,
eliminated.
no. Because we will not be drafting the team that we already saw go home.
Yeah, so one of us will have more teams.
No, because they started with 11 teams.
Oh, okay. I thought they had an even number. Never mind.
Duh. I got this under control. We're going to recap first and then do all of our arbitrary rankings and drafting and things at the
Yes,
end.
and we have a fun new game we're adding for this season because of the theme of the season.
Yes. Wait, so I guess we should do that one first. The five people that we would want
Yeah,
to.
and so I'll explain this a little bit because I came up with it. If you listen to the show, a lot of our recaps is like me and Kevin trying to figure out how we would approach this if the two of us were a team. But the theme of this season is being paired with strangers. So we each came up with a top five of who we would want to be partnered with from this cast. And what we're gonna do is instead of like analyzing as if we were running together, we're gonna take our top pick, and if we have the same top pick, I'll flip a coin and imagine that we were running with that partner throughout the season.
I assumed that we would also look at things
Well, yeah,
as if we were
yeah, but
together.
we're adding this extra part because of the theme of the season.
Yeah.
All right.
You just said instead of, and that's why.
Um, so who did you have in fifth for who
Shamir,
interesting.
what about you?
Um, I have my top five. I also have an honorable mention because Jen seems really fun, but their problem was neither one of them wanted to step up and be more authoritative.
Honestly, if Jen
And
and
I
Kevin
feel like
would
me
have,
and her would have that problem because I don't like making group decisions. So Jen would be really fun, but did not have her in my top five because I think we would have that same problem.
If Jen and Kevin would have survived this, they might have both made my top five
Yeah.
on vibes alone.
Oh yeah. My actual fifth is London though.
Okay.
Her and Logan seem to be getting along real well. They seem to have a good chemistry together.
So London was actually my fourth.
And Seth was my fourth.
Seth?
That's funny.
I didn't say Seth in fifth.
Oh, you said Shamir. I had Seth in four.
Okay. I had Floyd in third.
Nice. I did too.
Okay.
So for second place, who you'd want to be paired with? Who do you have?
Becca.
Nice. I have Brooke, and I know her and Scott seem to be one that like they may not be getting along super well, but like she seems really patient. She seems to like just be able to roll with the flow. She did good at what she did, so I think we'd get along
Uh-huh.
well.
Uh-huh. And then my top one I put was Redmond.
Redmond,
Yeah.
I had Olive.
Oh, well, this is gonna be easy then.
Yeah, because her and Seth killed it. They seemed to get along great, and so they were both in my top five because I think I'd work together well with either of them.
Well, Redmond's a boss, so
Yeah. Oh, Redmond's great.
hmm
I really like the only person that like I don't think I'm gonna like is Michael.
interesting.
I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. Tell us why you don't like Michael. I gotta go.
Is Michael's the one that looks like Willie Robertson, right? Oh, Kevin's leaving. So I don't know. Michael just how do I phrase this? Maybe I have a note somewhere. He seems to get frustrated very easily and was fussing at his partner when things went wrong instead of trying to help fix the problem. Like as funny as the "How are you 24 and never picked up an oar" quote is, that's just not helpful. And he doesn't take it well when they're struggling and when things are going bad. So that's pretty much my reasoning there. And that might change as they get settled in. But honestly, this is a really fun cast. I don't even like, even with Michael, I don't dislike him super strongly. But oh, you're back. Cool.
Yeah, I said, tell us why because I gotta go do something.
Yeah. So what I was saying was it's not even anything major, just the way he is when things aren't going well. Like that would frustrate me if I was his partner. Like as funny as the how like him fussing at her, "How are you 24 and never picked up an oar?" That's a funny quote. That's not helpful. Like if I'm on a team with you and we're struggling at something and your response is fussing at me about it and not taking it well instead of helping solve things, that's not I don't know. I don't think me and Michael would be a good team, but we'll see.
My least favorite so far is Scott.
Yeah, I don't like him. I mean, he's right there. For a lot of the same reason. It's how he is with his partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
I like Brooke a lot though, but I don't like Scott, so I'm
right.
50-50 on that team.
So, let's dive into the recap question mark.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so we start in Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
22 strangers competing together. And we get introduced to some of these people. And so I just have some simple thoughts from them. Olive was talking about how um, she was worried about being put with somebody who's not a great partner, like competition wise. Um, Brooke made the comment some strangers are better than others. Michael wants somebody with more charm because he's not that charming.
Shamir said it doesn't matter who you pair me with. I will put them over my shoulder and carry them to the win.
He
And I
did
wrote down I can't tell if he's confident or arrogant, but like he's coming
both,
in with a good mindset.
both.
Fair enough. It's a fine
And
line.
and Jen says that she's going to use her looks to her advantage.
That one
And
off.
Jessie tells us that she doesn't want to be paired with Asian Barbie
That
right
was
after
great
that.
back to back. I love the
Yeah,
editing there.
editors know what they're doing, man.
That was fantastic.
So anyway, Phil explains to them that how they're going to decide their teams is they're going to have to go get a suitcase with the Panama flag on it and bring it back. And the order in which they get back is going to be the order in which they get to pick their partner. So he tells them they have to go 2 blocks southwest and then 7 blocks southeast to get their luggage and grab one of them with the Panama flag. And so, because there are different pieces of luggage with different flags on them. And so they need the Panama one.
Yeah.
And then it starts telling us more about some of the other people. Seth is a cop. Um, so he's explaining why he has to be used to working with people off the bat that he doesn't necessarily know super well.
Yeah.
Um, Brooke tells us she's a criminal attorney and she likes control. She'd like to think that she could give up control if she realizes that somebody is better at something. But
Jesse describes herself as an alpha male.
I don't think so. What?
Jesse described herself as an alpha male while we were on our way to the suitcase place.
Yes. Scott tells us that he graduated from Harvard. Redmond tells us about being in the Navy and then getting blown up with an IED and losing his leg, and then he became a Paralympian.
Nice.
Vonk, he's too smart. He wants a pretty girl. Jen wants to be with Asian Surfer. That would be Kevin. Jessie is the first canine officer within her city's police department. First female canine officer.
Yes. And Becca has an adjustable fun meter on her jacket. That was one of
Which
my
is
notes
so,
from the segment.
so rad. Um, we also have Francesca, who's a drill sergeant, 15 years in the military.
Yeah.
Matt, a snowboarder. Floyd tells us that he memorized all the maps before coming on this show. He's kind of like an Amazing Race super fan.
I wrote down right above Becca's fun meter, I wrote just Floyd is a vibe, very positive and optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Liz, I put Yeehaw. She's an auctioneer,
Yes.
and she shouldn't have worn boots.
Who's the girl that was a drill sergeant?
Yeah, Francesca, I already said that.
Okay. I forgot her name, so I didn't recognize what you were saying at first.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote down the girl that was a drill sergeant seems interesting because they were firing names at us so quickly.
Right, I kept having to pause. And then Michael tells us that he has an IQ of 140.
And Joey got back with the wrong luggage.
Yes,
His luggage didn't have a Panamanian flag on it.
yes, Joey got the wrong luggage, but he grew up in the projects and is now a police sergeant.
Nice. And Olive is a firefighter. I don't know if you mentioned that or not.
Olive is a firefighter in one of the busiest firehouses.
Yes.
But that was all of the personal content we got during that part. And then we get to the picking of teams. And Seth was the first one back and
Yes.
chose the third person back, Olive. And I don't know if you noticed this, they all have hashtags again, like our 25s did.
Yeah. I like that.
Seth and Olive are hashtag Team America. And Seth's big reason for picking Olive is she's probably a better dancer than me, and she was the first woman done.
There you go.
And then Matt finished second, and he picked Redmond. They are hashtag the boys. After that, we have Shamir, who picked Sarah, who finished right after him. They are the Sand S Express, and I'm not really sure why. Um, then Scott picked Brooke. Real original here. Hashtag Team Brooke and Scott.
I missed that.
Yeah. Then Becca picked Floyd. Hashtag Team Fun. But she
Yeah,
called him Urkel. She called him Urkel. She said, I pick Urkel.
they're gonna be so much fun to watch.
They are. Then Vonk picks Ashton.
And I wrote a note down here when he picked her. I wrote down, I don't know about this. She just told us she wanted someone tall and strong. And no offense to Vonk, that's not exactly him.
No.
So,
But they are also one of these teams. Hashtag Team Vonk and Ashton.
yeah.
Then Tara picked Joey. They are hashtag Team Mom and Dad.
I
London picked Logan. Hashtag Team Lolo.
like that.
Jen picked Kevin. Hashtag long hair don't care.
There you go.
Michael picked Liz. Hashtag Liz and Mike. And that leaves us Jesse and Francesca, who did not get picked by anybody. Paired together, they are hashtag Team Swole Sisters.
Here's my note that was completely off base when we see the result. As I put based on what we've seen of both of them so far, because they both come off as these strong, headstrong personalities. I wrote down they're gonna kill each other.
Oh, they might. They might.
They might, but this first leg they're getting along really well, and they're like telling Phil, "There's no one in this cast I'd rather run with now."
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm thinking this is going to be a disaster. They're both two headstrong alpha types.
So after they get paired into groups, Phil lets them know that you guys are gonna catch a taxi to LAX, where there's gonna be two flights to your first destination. Hidden in one piece of your luggage. Hidden in your luggage is your clue, but hidden in one piece of luggage is the only express pass that's going to be in this whole race.
Wow.
And also that Jesse and Francesca are going to be riding with Phil to the airport since they were neither one picked.
They get chauffeured by Mr. Phil. How cool is that?
It was pretty rad, I would agree.
And we end up seeing on our way to the airport that express pass goes to Becca and Floyd.
Might have to pause for a second.
Okay. So I will keep talking while he's away. And so we're on the race. We're on our way to LAX, and everyone is checking their suitcases for this express pass. And we see a few teams come up without it, and Becca and Floyd end up getting that express pass. And so they have that. They're excited. And we're flying to Panama City, Panama. And so we learn a little bit more about the teams here as we learn that Becca lives in the town where Floyd went to college. Oh, Kevin's back.
Yeah, but I might have to go again, so just let's keep rolling for now.
Do we need to just stop and redo this later?
I don't know. No, I have people. I have a job. I have people that come in. I gotta
I
talk to
know,
them.
but you said we might have to stop. Do you just want to do this another time?
I don't have another. You're busy all week.
Okay, we'll keep going then.
That's what I was trying to say.
I know, but you're the one that drives, so keep going. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm not the one that keeps stopping.
I know. I apologize. I'm not doing it on purpose.
I know. Just keep going.
If you want to stop, we can do it. Figure it out another time.
No, I don't want that. That's not what I was saying. Just keep going.
Okay. Floyd got the express pass. Did you tell him that?
Yes.
Okay. And did you tell him where we're going?
Panama City.
Right on, right on. I also put here that I like Team Lolo.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yes. And so they get to the airport. The teams that are on flight one are Matt and Redmond, Becca and Floyd, Brooke and Scott, London and Logan, and Seth and Olive. While flight two then becomes Jesse and Francesca, Vonk and Ashton, Tara and Joey, Shamir and Sarah, Kevin and Jen, and Michael and Liz. And I don't know if you saw this. Kevin literally tried to hand
I did. I made a note of this. He handed
the airport
the
person
airport
a
counter
flower.
lady a potted flower.
It was wild.
Where did the potted flower come from, and why is he handing it to the airport counter lady?
I assumed he took it. I'm going to assume he took it right off the counter and just tried to give it to her.
Okay.
I don't have a better explanation.
No, I don't either. I'm just like, why?
Why not?
I'm just confused. Like, this is funny, but I don't know like
I
what's
thought it was great. Yeah. We also find out here that Tara was asking uh what's her name, Olive, if there was going to be any romance between her and Seth, and she goes, "I don't think I'm his type." And then it takes us to a confessional of Seth saying, "I'm gay." Yeah, I don't think she's his type either.
Yeah.
Um, and then that was the last airport scene, but then once they land in Panama City, they're going to be going to Miraflores Locks in the Panama Canal.
Yes.
And the first flight lands at 7 a.m. Second flight landed at 9:36 after a 1 hour delay.
Teams were really struggling with driving in directions in Panama.
Yeah, nobody could tell them where the Panama Canal is for some reason.
Is it not as famous in Panama as it is everywhere else? Do
I
they not
guess
know they
not.
have a world famous canal?
Yeah, nobody told them.
Okay, that makes sense.
They thought everybody has a world famous canal.
Well, to be fair, when you live near something like that, like for example, like I from St. Louis, lived there almost my whole life. I've been to the Arch like 3 times over the years, I think. When you live near it, it's not a huge deal. Like it's not something you go to that often. So it might be that.
Right.
But the fact that they didn't even know where it was is crazy.
But the difference between the Arch and the Panama Canal is kind of that, the Panama Canal like drives the business of Panama
Yeah.
in a way that like of course the Arch is going to attract tourists and stuff,
Yeah.
but literally all of their import export is done through that canal.
Yeah.
So it's like even like yes, I get what you're saying, but like to a larger extent, it's more wild that
It is because they couldn't even tell you where it was. Like the Arch or like people that live in Orlando probably don't go to Disney World that often, but like you can tell where it is. They didn't even couldn't even like give directions to the canal. That's
to
the
be
crazy.
fair, I don't think Panama Canal in Spanish is Panama Canal.
Well, I don't know. Ask whoever get whoever said that they can speak Spanish when they're drunk and
That
ask
would be
them how to say
Jen, and
Panama
she is
Canal.
that would be Jen, and she got eliminated in the first episode, if that tells you anything about her navigation and anything else skills.
I again, I don't care. The vibes are high. If they wouldn't have had the problem that neither of them like making decisions, she would have been on my five people I want to be on a team with. But
I completely agree.
I'm so
Um,
sad they go home. They would have been so good this season.
Becca and Floyd keep rapping, which
Yeah,
is fun.
they're just kind of doing their own thing. Like
Hmm.
they're vibing.
Yeah, it's great. And Scott and Brooke are arguing over their driving.
They argued about a lot this episode.
Yeah. Um, yeah,
They're
it was
already crumbling.
bad. But once they get to the Panama Canal, they get another clue that says that they need to proceed to the Panama Rainforest Discovery Center
At
to
the
search for the
Canopy
next clue.
Tower.
In the Canopy Tower to search for the next clue. Yes. And once they get there, it is detour time. Shoot or scoot. Do you want to explain shoot or scoot, Bruce?
Yeah, let me find it. So you're using a traditional dugout canoe in both ones. And you're either going head to head in a drag race against a professional boat racer or on shoot and on scoot, by the way, if you lose to the professional boat racer, you start the next leg with a head start at the next buoy down. And if you lose again, you get a bigger head start. So note that. And then shooting is you're standing in the boat and you're using a bow and arrow to shoot down these two silver fish that are just propped up on these tall sticks for some reason. So
And
you,
what are you and Olive going to do?
I don't know. Her and Seth, like at first, Scoot sounded harder because you're racing a professional, but you get a head start each time. So I feel like that would be easier. And her and Seth, she's a firefighter, so she's got strong muscles to do the rowing. And the bow and arrow, the target is still, but it's harder. So I feel like me and Olive and me and you would do the racing one.
And me and Redmond.
It sounds harder because you're racing a professional, but you if you lose, you get a head start the next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So the teams that did shoot were Becca and Floyd, Scott and Brooke, but they ended up switching.
yeah.
Um, Bonk and Ashton started on Scoot, switched to shoot, and then switched back to Scoot.
How did they fail? He shot a bow one time in school. You're automatically able to shoot with that resume.
And then Michael and Liz, they started with shoot and went to Scoot. So then all the teams that at some point were at Scoot were Scott and Olive, Seth and Olive, Scott and Brooke, Matt and Redmond, Shamir and Sarah, Tara and Joey, Vonk and Ashton, Jesse and Francesca, Vonk and Ashton again, Logan and London, Michael and Liz, and Kevin and Jen.
Yes,
And we found out also that Shamir speaks Spanish, which made his directions a lot easier,
we
by the
did.
way. Michael is regretting everything with picking Liz as his partner.
I forget who this was, and I wrote down what's his name in the orange shirt tried to shoot an arrow and it just fell at his foot. Was that Vonk probably?
Probably.
I was still learning names at this point. So
Um, I wrote here randomly that Kevin is a vibe.
Kevin and Jen and Becca and Floyd are the biggest, just they're a vibe of the premiere.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're already to the pit stop now.
Are we?
Yeah, because the first team to finish, Seth and Olive,
Yeah.
finished uh, Scoot and got their clue to the pit stop.
I'm thinking maybe they did less challenge because they had to spend so much time at the beginning with the picking and all that.
Yeah, they spent 15 minutes pre having a team. So the pit stop is Cinta Costera Trace. And it's on one side of the Panama Canal. And
This
Phil was
name
under.
made me
He's paid him
smile
off.
because on a show I like called Andor, there's a character named Cinta. So
Oh,
it's a Star Wars show.
which was why I don't know it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oops. Scott is so negative was a point I wrote here.
Him and Michael don't do well with pressure. Like when things start going bad, they start fussing.
Mm. And also, Matt and Redmond are ballers. They literally beat the professionals at the regular distance without any advantage.
Yeah, by the way, it's funny that they're teammates because Redmond is spelled differently. It doesn't have the D on the end of what I'm about to say, but there's a Christian singer with some really cool music named Matt Redman,
Yeah.
and he's British, I think. But and I like grew up listening to his music, so the fact that these two got paired together is hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Matt Redman, the singer.
Mm-hmm. And then we go back to the pit stop where Seth and Olive are team number one with no reward.
I know. I think they're going to be a force this season, though.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah, Matt Redman is from England. Okay.
Becca and Floyd came in second. Matt and Redmond, team number three.
Before you go through the whole order, because we see a couple teams finish, then go back.
I'm not going through the whole order. I'm going
Oh,
through the first four because
okay.
then we go back to what's going on.
I couldn't remember when we went back.
Brooke and Scott, team number four. Scott was asked if he made the wrong choice, and he hesitated.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then we see a bunch of teams overturn their canoes.
That was
Joey
my
and
note I
Sarah.
was about to say. Vonk and Ashton tip over canoe on first attempt and decide to switch.
Joey and Tara also tipped over their canoe. So did Michael and Liz.
Yeah. And
And then Vonk and Ashton switch back. And then Kevin and Jen are so lost. And then Shamir and Sarah come in as team number five.
yeah.
And that's when we find out Liz has never paddled before, which is crazy. Because how are you 24 and never paddled? There are lakes in Missouri.
Not all across the state though. There's some pretty like landlocked parts of the state too.
But there's a whole river called the Missouri River.
Yeah, but like
Missouri.
think about like where we went to college at in Moberly. There's no like lake or river.
There's literally a
And
beach 30 minutes away.
where?
Outside of Macon.
Oh, I never went to Macon, so that's why I didn't know it. But like driving but from Moberly to Columbia, even like from Columbia to St. Louis, there's really not a ton of rivers or lakes you pass by in the middle of the state. Like there's rivers in St. Louis, there's the Ozarks, but there's not like a ton of huge bodies of water. So it kind of depends where you are in the state.
Not huge, but there I mean, I think of things like down by like Eminence and stuff like that. There's all kinds of like kayaking and canoeing is huge in parts of Missouri.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's places that you could go in a body of water anywhere in the state.
Yeah, I feel like that's true for most states.
Yeah.
I guess I just
Even in
wanted to
Moberly,
flex
you
my
could go
Missouri
get
geography muscle, I guess.
what?
I said in hindsight, I might have just been flexing my Missouri geography muscle. I'm realizing that's what happened there.
Hmm.
But
Even in Moberly, you could go to like Rothwell. There's a lake there that you could go
I
rent in.
I went to that park once, I think, in 2 years.
That's crazy.
So, but like what I remember from the Moberly area is driving back and forth to Columbia, going to church each week, and it's just field after field. And then there's a cowboy church by one of the fields
Hmm.
that I never made it to, but I always wanted to go see what that was like.
Just ask Amanda
Okay.
or Clay. I think he might know too. Anyway, Tara and Joey, team number 6.
Yeah.
Vonk and Ashton, team number 7.
Bonk and Ashton, I'm putting in the Scott and Brooke category of their team chemistry is crumbled already. I don't think they're gonna work together super well this season based on the premiere.
London and Logan, team number 8. Jesse and Francesca, team number 9.
Who seem to be getting along well. I was wrong at the beginning.
Yeah. And then, due to darkness and safety, the detour has been closed before Kevin and Jen can finish it. So, they did beat Michael and Liz to the pit stop, but they had a 2-hour penalty because they didn't get to complete the detour.
Okay, and I get it. I don't know what else they would have done, but I would be kind of frustrated because like them not. It's not like we chose to not finish. You shut it down for me. Like
Right, but the thing
you're
is,
penalizing me for a choice you made.
no,
That's
you're
how I would feel. But I get
right.
it. Like they could have gotten there sooner. So
Yeah, like hours sooner.
I'm not upset as a fan at all. But if I were them, I would be a little annoyed in the moment, then probably realize it later. Like, okay, never mind.
They didn't seem to be bothered at all, though.
No, I don't think they get bothered by anything. They just
That's
seem super chill and vibey. But that would be my initial reaction was I'm being penalized for them shutting it down.
mm. And Michael and Liz did get lost, but they got there. They were the last team to arrive, but the 10th team to check in because the 2-hour penalty had not been made up yet. And they
I was
become
rooting for them to stay lost long enough for the time penalty to not matter so hard.
me too.
Because I wanted to keep Jen and Kevin. And like I don't dislike Michael, but him and Scott are not my favorite people on this cast. So
Yeah.
I was disappointed by this result, but
And Kevin and Jen, 11th place, first team eliminated from the race. They never fought once. Oh,
Jen said that she gained a new little sister.
yes, I was about to say I had one more quote that I got lost down here. I gained a new little sister.
And Kevin didn't even say anything like, don't you mean little brother? He just kind of went with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. There's such a vibe. I want to watch more of them interacting. I'm sad they're gone.
I completely agree. So, now we can get into our little bit of hijinks and fun. Now
Yes.
that we recap this episode. Bruce, I'm going to say last time, I'm pretty sure uh, you got to go first.
Okay. You can just go first. I don't mind.
Yeah, oh, I'm just saying because I'm pretty sure you picked Pops and Jeff with the first overall pick.
I might have. I think I flipped a coin.
So, yeah, I was just going to say since you went first, I'll go first. The next time you can go first, kind of thing.
Okay. As long as you're keeping track of it, because I'm not.
Yep, I got it. And my first overall pick is Team Fun.
I figure that's where you were gonna go. I wanted both of the teams that finished in the top two, and I knew I wasn't gonna get both of them.
Well, if you would have got the first pick and you would have picked Team Fun, I
Yeah.
would not have picked Team America. So you would have got both of them.
See, Team America, like we didn't get a ton of personality content from them, but I think they're both super strong players.
Yeah. Is that your pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Seth and Olive. I think they're gonna be around a little. They seem like cool, chill people. We didn't get as much personality as we got from Team Fun or from Kevin and Jen,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if we do get more of that, we're gonna love them.
My next pick is the boys. That's Matt and Redmond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Who do you want?
Hmm. I am going to go with Team Lolo.
That was going to be my next pick.
They finished nothing super impressive, eighth out of 11, but they seem to have a super strong team chemistry, and that can carry you sometimes.
Hmm.
Look at an Amy and Maya or a Han and Holden that they don't have the super impressive finishes, but they work really well together.
Yeah,
So team chemistry carries you.
completely agree. Um, whew, I'm gonna go with the S Express, Shamir and Sarah.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm torn between two teams here. One team finished a bit better than the other team, but they're on my list of I don't trust them as a team at all because they're already bickering and fighting. So I'm gonna
Mm.
go with the team that finished a couple spots below them and take Tara and Joey instead of Brooke and Scott. Because Brooke and Scott are already butting heads. They finished well, but I don't know that I trust that yet. I need to see them have another high finish before I believe it.
So I'm gonna take Brooke and Scott then.
Okay. And if they last longer, that's my fault, but my reasoning feels sound.
I completely agree. I had those two teams in sixth and seventh ranked for the draft.
Yeah. I forgot we were doing a draft until you texted me about it this morning, so I'm like doing this on the fly. I feel like I'm doing
Well,
a good job so far.
yeah, absolutely, because there's three teams left, and all three of them were my 8, 9, and 10. So,
Yeah. Hmm. Is it me again?
yep, I think I know where you're going.
So my options are Liz and Michael, Vonk and Ashton, and Jesse and Francesca.
Yeah.
I've made a few selections that were purely chemistry related. I'm gonna go finishing order here and say Vonk and Ashton
Okay, I did not expect that.
because I don't want to use the same reasoning for every pick I make, and I just don't know what to do with these three. So I'm gonna go with the highest finishing team out of the three.
I think you know where I'm gonna go now.
I think I know, but I hope I'm wrong because I don't want to get stuck with the team I think I'm gonna get stuck with.
Well, you are, because I'm taking Jesse and Francesca with
Which
my last pick.
me having the last pick, I would have gotten stuck with Michael and Liz anyway. If I had taken Jesse and Francesca, you probably would have taken Vonk and Ashton.
I was prepared to take Vonk there.
So me having the I will say, I wouldn't want him as my partner, and I get Ashton's frustration so far, especially because he was kind of never what she wanted. Vonk is great TV.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Like, I should do it. I shot in high school one time.
Hmm.
Like, fully thinking that was enough of a resume was fantastic. I think I'm going to lose the next team, though. I think Michael and Liz are probably going next. They almost went this time. So,
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So, next is our lovely likability rankings, Bruce.
do you want to give a quick draft recap?
Yep, I can do that. The five teams that I took are Team Fun, the Boys, the S Express, Brooke and Scott, and Jesse and Francesca. Bruce's five teams are Team America, Team Lolo, Tara and Joey, Vonk and Ashton, and Mike and Liz.
I feel kind of good about like
I
my
feel
team is
great.
top heavy. Like I've got some really great teams, and then I've got a few at the bottom that like Vonk and Ashton, Michael and Liz. I feel really shaky about, but
I feel pretty good.
maybe I can get the top three finishers again, like for our other draft. I did really good that draft.
Yeah, you did.
And I
Sadly.
realized I also had like the first two or three people out, but I choose to focus on the good parts and forget about the parts that don't make me look good.
You had the top three, the first three out and the final three. Yeah, both.
So I honestly did kind of average, but I choose to focus on having the entire top three
Yeah.
and forget the other part because that doesn't benefit me to remember the other part.
Of course it doesn't.
So
Anyway,
likability, who do you
likability
got?
ranking. Let's start at the bottom. We're doing all 11 with likability.
Yeah,
So, including Kevin and Jen in your likability rankings.
yes.
Who do you have at number 11? 11 with likability.
Michael and Liz. We
Okay.
didn't see a ton of them, and most of what we saw from them was Michael fussing at Liz. So I don't really want to have them feel the need to have them higher on my list yet because we haven't seen much from them.
I have Scott and Brooke at the bottom for me,
Yeah.
just because I didn't like their bickering.
Yeah, it's kind of the same reason I have Michael and Liz where I have them, and I have
Yeah.
Brooke and Scott at 10 for the same reason. I just
Okay.
I like Brooke, and we didn't see much from Liz, so that's kind of my tiebreaker between them. But these
Fair.
teams feel the same to me. One is just a lot better at the game.
My number 10 is my number 10 is Vonk and Ashton.
Yeah.
I'm just not a huge Vonk fan. He's funny, but like likability wise, I'm not huge on him.
What's funny is I have Vonk and Ashton at 9.
So our bottom three still.
Our
Okay.
bottom threes are the same, just in a shuffled order.
Yes. Um,
Well, I don't know. You didn't say Michael or Liz yet, so maybe our bottom
Liz
three.
and Mike are my number 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just have our order shuffled. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Who do you got at 8?
Tara and Joey.
Me too.
Again, they seem cool.
Mm,
We really got like a solid amount of content and personality from like the top 3 or 4 or 5 teams.
yeah.
There's a few teams we saw like nothing from other than we saw the scene of them doing the challenge and then done.
Yeah. Yeah, they were kind of purpled a little bit, for sure. Who do you got at 7 since we both have Tara and Joey at 8?
Jesse and Francesca,
Okay.
they surprised me. I thought they were too similar. They were both alphas. I thought they'd butt heads for control. They seem to be getting along really well. We didn't see much from them.
Yeah. My number 7 is Shamir and Sarah because just because they were kind of not overly.
They're my number 6.
They're your number 6.
What is this? This is funny. Yeah, Shamir and Sarah seem cool. I I can't tell if I like Shamir or just think he's a bit too arrogant for my tasting. Usually the people that come in bragging like I can drag anyone to the finish line, that like
Yep.
when you're too I like confidence. When it's too overconfident that it's arrogant, that usually turns me off. But I kind of like him a little bit. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do with him yet.
Yeah, I think we gotta see a little bit more for sure. My number 6 though is not gonna be anywhere close for you
Yeah,
because Team America is my number 6.
that's fair.
Seth and Olive.
Yeah, again, they won. We didn't see much personality though. We saw them crushing the game, but
I just like the 5 teams that I put above them better.
yeah, I have at 5 Matt and Redmond, and again, I just like the 4 teams ahead of them better. I
That's
think they're
fair.
going to be around for a while.
My number 5 is Jesse and Francesca.
There you go.
I thought they were pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait till there's less teams and we start seeing more of some of these teams
Mm-hmm.
because they have to show everyone now. So some people just aren't going to get enough airtime for us to get to know them. But
Sure.
at 4, I have London and Logan.
Okay.
They're awesome. I'm happy I have them on my draft team.
I really thought I could get away with them.
Yeah,
I
they're
like them a lot.
yeah. They're gonna
My,
be around a while.
yeah, my number 4 is Matt and Redmond,
Yeah,
the boys. I think they're so good. I think they're fun. They're going to be around a while.
I I love that for likability rankings, we both have the team that went home last place in the premiere episode in our top 3. That's
Abs-
fantastic.
Absolutely.
My 3 is Seth and Olive, and I think I just we saw a lot of game from them, but we didn't see the like fun, quirky car scenes, or like the poking the shoulder or the rapping, or we saw, hell, are you two gonna be a thing? And no, I'm gay. I'm not her type. Like I would have liked to have seen if we got more of that type of content, they'd be in my top two possibly. But
Right.
I feel like we just saw challenge content from them mostly.
Mm. My number three is Kevin and Jen.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just want to hang out with either or both of them for a
They
day.
are so cool, so funny. I loved them.
I want to go on a road trip, you and me and those two.
Let's do it.
My number two is Team Fun. They're fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I took I took a little bit of a big swing here with my likability rankings.
My number two team is Lolo.
There
Team
you go.
Lolo. I love them. They might be my favorite team of the season, but by the end of it. But right now I've got them at two.
And my big swing is putting the team eliminated in the premiere at the top of my likability rankings. But the little car scenes, just their banter, Jen calling Kevin not her little brother, but her little sister, all that funny stuff.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I don't know.
My
They're
my
hilarious.
team my team one was Team Fun.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Hmm.
And we know they return. So,
Yeah. And so we have one more to do, Bruce, and that is heading into next week, we have power rankings now.
we do.
And so I'll ask you, who do you have ranked at number 10 in your power rankings?
Jackie and Lauren.
Yeah, that didn't make me laugh. Sorry.
Well, I figured it probably wouldn't, but it's kind of my tradition to do that on the premiere. So,
I didn't know it was a tradition, premiere tradition. I thought you did it every week.
I just do it here and there. There's no really rhyme or reason. It's just when a name pops into my head, I throw a team in there not on the season. And so I have Liz and Michael at 10 now.
Me too.
They don't have the chemistry, and it seems like they struggle at the actual game. The other teams have one problem or the other. This team has both.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
I think the chemistry side is more of Michael's fault, and I think the physicality side is more of Liz's fault.
Yeah, and I don't think either of those problems are going to be fixed.
Yeah.
At 9,
Yeah.
this might sound a bit off because two teams finished behind them, but I'm going with Vonk and Ashton here.
I did the same thing.
And I don't think they kind of have both problems. I don't think the chemistry is as bad, and I don't think the like game itself is as bad.
I would agree. I don't think that they are as bad as either. And the fact that Ashton was talking about how they have some chemistry things to work out, but at least they're like acknowledging that and moving forward towards it, where we didn't see that from Mike and Liz.
Yeah, for sure.
8,
8, I have Jesse and Francesca.
me too.
So it just
I didn't want to put them this low,
yeah.
but I just couldn't really justify it.
We only have one episode to work off of. So
Yeah, yeah. 7,
Tara and Joey,
we finally differ.
yeah,
Do you want to explain?
they're solid. They seem to get along well. They finished ahead of London and Logan, but I have more faith and confidence in London and Logan that they're gonna go deeper. So
I have Scott and Brooke here. While
Interesting.
while they finished a little bit higher, um, I think that sooner rather than later their differences are going to affect their performance.
Yeah, probably.
6?
6, I have Scott and Brooke here. I gave them the benefit of the doubt over what's their name that I just said, Tara and Joey, because of finish. They finished in fourth place, but I think they're gonna start falling. I don't think they go home next, but
Why did you say interesting like that just to put them in the spot right in front?
it's interesting.
When you said interesting, I thought you had them like top 3 or something.
No, I just thought it was interesting.
I have Tara and Joey here at 6.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think they're just kind of a middle of the pack team.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5?
And 5, my power ranking matches my finishing order. I have Shamir and Sarah here.
Yep. Me too.
And so they're solid. The teams I have ranked ahead of them, I think, are more solid, even though one of them finished in eighth, and I have them in my top four.
Me
But
too. Yeah. I think that the 4 teams above them are better. I think that Shamir and Sarah could easily jump up here, though.
yeah,
So they're kind of the beginning of the middle bottom of the elite group.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm. At 4,
London and Logan.
stop copying me.
I'm do. Here's what's funny. I'm doing this on the fly, and you're having me say names first.
I
And it's
know.
still this similar, and there's no way I could have copied you because I don't have an actual list, and I'm saying names first.
I know.
So this is just wild.
I know.
I
We
usually do power rankings ahead of time. I forgot to do it this time. I was doing likability, and we don't normally do that. So I did rankings, and then I forgot to do another rankings.
we do normal likability, or we do likability normally at every premiere and every finale.
I know, but it's not an every episode thing, and I'm used to just doing my notes and then a rankings, and I forgot to do two rankings
Fair.
because I so
I think that they could be even higher than 4 potential, but I don't think I can put them higher than 4 after an
I
eighth place finish.
I can't put eighth place finish in the top three.
Yeah, but I think they have top 3 potential.
Yeah, at 3 I have Matt and Redmond.
Okay,
What about you?
I have Team Fun.
Nice.
Hmm.
I have Team Fun at 2.
I
So,
figured.
but they're really strong. They finished second. I just think like game wise and challenge wise, I think Seth and Olive having that like being used to working with other people in their jobs. A firefighter's a job where you have to be strong and athletic. I just think their strengths are going to come out in this race. I think they're the team to beat so far after the premiere.
I have Seth and Olive in second place, actually.
Okay.
And I have Matt and Redmond in first. They didn't finish first this time, but I think that their challenge prowess probably can't be touched
Yeah.
so far. So far from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I land there. This has been a really fun episode. I'm really excited to watch this season.
This is going to be so much fun.
Absolutely, it's going to be great. And make sure, guys, that you continue to check out all of our content here on the reality realm. We have weekly episodes from Tribal Council Chat. Once Challenge 41 gets underway, we'll have weekly or semi-regular episodes from New Generation Challenge podcast. Here, Soon we should be having some off-season content from Roundtable Talk. And in July, be looking forward to checking out BB Brains by our newest member of the Reality Realm family, Kyle Dorr. Um,
Yes.
check out our Redbubble merch store and check out our socials, Facebook and Instagram for each of our shows, as well as TikTok at the Reality Realm Pod to see clips from these episodes in the shorter form. Um, Bruce, do you have anything to add before we end?
Go.
I'm going to take that as a no then.
Nope.
All of that to say, the world is waiting for you. Good luck.
Travel safely.
Go.
Go.